Welcome to Jiggles Show. All right, I hope everyone is doing well today. Let me see who is in the room. What's up, Catherine? What's up, Trey Day? I hope you all are doing well. Look, last night was what it was, but I stand by what I said. The man is innocent until proven guilty. You can feel any kind of way you want to, and everybody has a right to their feelings. Everybody has a right to what they feel and believe. At the end of the day, the court is going to make the decision, and that's it. I'm not pro Yusef. I'm not anti Yusef. I am very interested in what the law has to say about this situation. Um, but I'm going to put it out there early so you can catch the replay. Yusef, what are you thinking? You have an active open case. Why are you sending people this? Why do you feel the need that you have to prove yourself to people who really are not going to make your case? They can break your case, but they're not going to make your case. And again, we feel so, I guess, beholden to these people that you got to come and prove something. And who you really need to be talking to and proving something is to those witnesses, the people who are going to be deciding your court case. Those are the people we need to be concerned about, not us. Now, I'm going to talk about it as much as I want to talk about it, because if you put it on YouTube, if you bring it to YouTube, then we're going to talk about it. And at the end of the day, whether Jay Dunn brought it to let us know, or whoever brought it, his sector, or again, you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is get ready for your court case. It's just that simple. So you don't have anything to prove to me. You don't have anything to prove to these people. You better be more concerned about that judge, because these people here are not going to come down with the sentencing if you're found guilty. I'm just being real. This is public opinion. This is not court. This is public opinion, number one. And then you said, you know that these people are going to jump on it. They're going to make content on it. Some people like you. Some people don't like you. So that's going to be it. You got content. You didn't even know that live stream. And she had you all on live stream because that hoe don't care nothing about you. All that hoe cares about is clicks and views and getting her money. And I can't be mad at it because that's what we do. That's what we do here. But you have an active case. And you should be with your lawyer trying to figure out how you're going to defend yourself instead of coming over here in this public opinion arena because people tearing you up. Now, let me say this. This is not a gay issue. This is not a straight issue. This is a right and wrong thing. And again, I know a lot of people are passionate about this, and I am not mad at your passion. But I'm going to say this, and we're going to talk about Jesse Jackson's legacy. I know Jesse Jackson has transitioned on. We're going to talk about that. But right now, that ain't the focus right now. We'll get to Jesse soon. But it amazes me how little people listen. Number one, we sure do speculate a lot. I don't know if the young man sent Yusef news of his actual body because we weren't in those spaces. Yusef did not share that, and we were not in those spaces. I do not know the conversation because we were not in those spaces. So a lot of people are speculating that, he should have known, he should have known. And it's really interesting because at the end of the day, all of this speculation. Now, Yusef is saying one thing, and the opinion or the people are saying another thing. But the court is going to say it all. And all I was saying, and I'm going to repeat this, is that no matter what I think or say, the court, discovery, all of those things are going to be presented. And if Yusef is found guilty, he is going to jail. Rightfully so. But on the other hand, if discovery and evidence says that Yusef is innocent, because it's really up to the judge and the jury to decide. Not me. I can have an opinion, but it's not up to me. And some people are so emotionally attached. Can I say this to you all? At the end of the day, this ain't my situation. It's not my situation. But because the situation was brought to YouTube and that person felt the need to prove something to somebody, this is why we're talking. I will not stop talking about it because this is my platform. And last time I checked, I don't have any middle managers. I don't have any stage managers. But you all would not believe what people were putting in the back chat. So I don't know if this is 5A or not. I'm not accusing this person. They had 5A's government name. And the person said, you are sick. You are all of this. And you would believe what was said. And I'm just sitting back and I'm like, you can say what you want. Nobody is standing up for Yusef. But my thing is, hopefully, if any one of us, heaven forbid, have to go to court, that people would be fair and objective to say that it doesn't sound like that person, or, yeah. So the courts will decide, and I'm sure they're going to do a thorough job to figure out and really get to the bottom of this. Because like I said, Yusef has a side, the victim has a side, the victim's parents have a side, and there is the side where both of the truth comes in, and that's where the court system determines what is real, what isn't. They have ways to do that. But just because you're fair and balanced and not jumping on the bandwagon, accusing people of doing this or being this, does not mean that you agree with that person. It means that you're going to stand back and wait till the law does what it needs to do. But we speculated that the man was sending this and he should have known this. Were you in the conversation? Do you know what happened there? And then, like I said, I don't have a problem with Mr. West, I think that's his name, and Goosey. But again, these are, okay, let me get on your platform to cause chaos. And this is why you don't get a platform. This is why y'all rarely gain access to my platform. Because I don't allow you all to do what you all do on other people's platforms. I don't allow y'all to do what y'all do on other folks' platforms, mine. I don't need you. But I think that our folk over here, you can be emotional. You can feel how you want, but feelings don't move the court. Evidence moves the court. Never once said that I supported Yusef. Never heard it out of my mouth. I support what the law puts down. I support what the court does. That's what I support. If, conditional word, if this man is found be guilty, he needs to go to jail. No ands, buts about it. You're siding, you're going against the victim. No, I'm not. If that person was victimized, they deserve their due process in court as well. However, two sides to every story. People talk about, "Ooh, Jay, you was getting out your body," And you know what? I was, because I'm like, this is why we have court systems. Because, you know, for many years, our people were accused of doing things that they didn't do. But because people have a mindset of what black people do or don't do, people didn't get their due process. They just hung them up in the tree. Come to find out years later that the person was innocent, that this person did this. And I'm not saying that's the case, but this is why I'm saying we have to be so careful into already prejudging to say that that person did it, or I know this person because they did it. You can't do that. That person has a right to due process. That's why I have a problem with Trump sending people on planes who have not gotten their due process. Because under the law, whether you like the U.S. law or not, an individual has a right to due process. If you step foot on United States soil, you have a right to due process. And all I'm saying is that the victim has a right to due process, and Yusef has a right to due process. And that doesn't mean that you support him. That doesn't mean that you stand in alliance and agreement with him. That means that as a United States citizen, he has a right to due process. And the judge and the jury, if there's a jury involved, will make the determination of the punishment, if there's to be punishment. Now, I got a question for you all. What are you all going to do if, and that's if again, if Yusef is found to be innocent? And there comes information and proof that he did exactly what he said he did. And he's exonerated. What do you do with that? So we really don't know what's going to happen until he goes to court. It's just that simple. I'm not trying to be emotional with this. I am not blaming the victim. I think what was said last night was true. You cannot leave devices to raise your kids. You really need to be checking. There needs to be parental control for the parents, and there needs to be some type of verification for the platform. Because if somebody says they're 18, then that means that they are telling the truth, even though they may not be. And that's what people fail to realize. Y'all talk about the development and everything. Baby, you can be underdeveloped at 18. It's some real slow people over here who you think that they 12, how they act. Now, all I'm going to say is, until that judge gives that sentence, we really don't know. And everything is speculation. Everything is speculation. I don't know if Yusef sent the man real pictures or not. I don't know what's going on. We don't know if that young man sent real, but we don't. We have not. We were not in that conversation. Oh, it doesn't matter. But again, this is what I'm trying to say to people. Yusef is on an application for adults. Whatever adults, and that's the key word, Whatever adults decide to do on that app is their business. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, it is what it is. Because adults. And the same thing that they do on that app, they do on Tinder. Y'all ain't gonna tell me that women get on Tinder and sometimes don't smash it. Sometimes they want a relationship, sometimes they want a smash. Baby, it ain't no different. Everybody tries to make it different. It ain't no different. There are freaks in every group. Whether you gay, straight, the only people that I know that ain't smashing is asexual people, or people, not asexual people, but people, I can't think of the name of the people who don't do sex. They just like romanticism and they like companionship, but they don't want to have sex. Those are the only people I think that ain't trying to smash. And I'm not saying everybody. But what I'm saying is there's levels. There are levels to everything. He was advised she should have asked for ID. Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. Yusef may have a case because, again, those are adult sites. Children shouldn't be on it. And at the end of the day, according to Yusef, and this is according to Yusef, this is what he wrote when he was addressing some of the content creators, that when he found out that this person was underage, he left them alone, and the parents was upset. They reached out to him, and then the next thing you know, he's being carted off. That's according to Yusef. So it ain't about shaming the victim. I didn't call the victim out of his name. I didn't say the victim did this or the third. But I am going to say that it is problematic when people can click on an adult site, whether it's Grindr, Tinder, that fishing, whatever fishing site, they got one called Some Fish, they can get on there. Because that could have happened to a female talking to a man, and he could have been 15. And the same thing could have happened. Same thing could have happened. So the problem is we must make sure that these underage kids are not on these adult sites. People talking about something, well, they ain't developed yet, and we understand that, but they develop enough to have a whole profile and to know what that site is about. And I'm glad the parents made the call. And let me say this, I'm not even blaming the parents, because I'm sure the parents were mortified and they did what they had to do. I'm not even blaming the parents. But I am going to say, Yusef, I think that you made a really, really big mistake by bringing it to YouTube. You know how these people are. You know that these people don't care for people who seem promiscuous. You a grown man. If you want to screw all night with people who are adults, that's your business. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't pay your mortgage. I don't pay your bills. I don't do that. So, again, that's your life. But you're a grown man. But I just don't think it was wise to do that. And then you trusted Queen Tulsa to do right by you. Queen Tulsa only got your trust so she can do exactly what she did to you on our panel, which is to do exactly that. Now she's saying that you're a predator and all of this stuff. And you may be that. But the court didn't say you were. yet. Yeah, I mean, the person lied to get on that app, and we can't just gloss over that. And that's what I kept on saying. You perjured yourself when you said that you were 18, knowing you're not. And then people talk about what does a 50-year-old man want with an 18-year-old man? What a 50-year-old man want in an 18-year-old woman? You don't have to be a mathematician, but that's not the point. When you're 18, you're considered an adult, whether you developed or not. That's under the law. And again, that's emotional stuff. That's emotional stuff. Now, if you don't like that, petition the courts, talk to your congressman, and see if we can get the law changed. And that's real. People don't like to hear that, but it's real. Okay, well, let him do what he want to do. Somebody said that Larry Nelson showed that Dre Day, about to have that man locked up. And again, he shouldn't even been on. You know what? It's so funny that you bring that up, Dre Day. It's so funny that you bring that up. It's funny that you bring that up. Because people had mad issues with me. I told Larry Nelson that you should take this off of YouTube. This is for the court of law. This is not for YouTube. I remember saying that. People were getting mad at me again because I'm like, you need to take that to court. This should not be here. Let me tell you something. That's when I'm like, okay, this whole sector is getting ready to go to hell in a handbasket with stuff like that. Because they accuse that man of some heinous things. Some crazy stuff. Me and Larry Nelson didn't even get along. See what I'm saying? We didn't even get along. But I kept on saying that let the court, didn't say he was innocent, didn't say he was guilty, said let the courts decide. Obviously, the man is still free. We see him getting assaulted. Baby looking like baby somebody hit him in the eye. Because he's free to do that. So we're going to see what happens to Yusef. And if Yusef is found guilty, then he deserves what the judge, what the courts give him. But my thing is, if he's not found guilty, what y'all going to do? Continue to try to say he's guilty? See, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to let the law do what the law does. Now, I do want to say my condolences to the Jackson family. If y'all have not heard, civil rights leader Jesse Jackson passed away. He was 84 years old. So Jesse Jackson ran for president twice. He had founded Operation Rainbow Push. And, yeah, so our condolences to the Jackson family. These people are getting older and they are leaving us. So please keep his family in prayer. Just wanted to say that. And I'm not dissing Jesse Jackson, but I didn't start with that, but I wanted to focus on that. So anyway, you all, I'm not here to argue emotional stuff because I heard a lot of emotional things. And then you had West and Goosey trying to pop it up, and then Goosey had nerve talk about something. I don't understand why people talking about it because we want to, and because people put it on YouTube and we talking about it. And I shot them right off my platform, West and Goosey. I mean, they got the nerve and the gall to think that they're gonna talk. And I told them, I'm like, excuse me, who are you? You need to identify yourself. And then, and then you want to start talking shit. Oh no, we don't play that. shuttle your ass right on out. And I'm not intimidated by you all, but I don't have time for you because you all are gaslighters. And you come on people's panels to do that. And I see it. And that's why I say go to your own panel, do your own shit, but you're not gonna do it on mine. Because I see exactly how they derail and torpedo people's panels. It is what it is. So yeah, I'm talking about the Yusef stuff today. And I stand firm on what I said, even last night. Nobody's blaming the victim. I'm sorry you all feel really badly about that. And you may not like me about that. And you may say, well, I'm going to do that. And that's perfectly fine. Do what you deem is necessary to do for you. But my thing is, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to wait till the judge makes that decision. You all are speculating for a lot of things that he should have known this, he should have known that. That's speculation. The court is going to find out what he did know and what that victim knew. Because the victim has to be questioned and you know, they have to get their scrutiny just like the person who's being accused. That's the court system. Everybody has their day in court. Everybody's going to get questioned. I mean, yeah. But you got to realize you lied. And I'm not making the victim sound bad, but you lied to get on that adult app. And that's problematic in itself. Regardless of what you think, or the person is a victim, yes. But you know what? People know right from wrong. And when you're at the age where you know right from wrong, if you know you're not 18 and you lie, you know that's wrong. And I'm not shaming or victim blaming, no. But you know that you don't do that because that's fraudulent and that's a lie. So we'll see what the judge says. What I'm saying is not emotional driven, and I have learned how to leave emotions out of certain things and speculation and add stuff in that wasn't added in. Like when Wes and Goosey brought that up about the Facebook, and I'm like, well, if that's true then, you know what? And if he continued, maybe he should go to jail. Maybe, yes. But we're going to see what the judge says. Church girl, you said, I don't think Goosey is heterosexual. My opinion, oh, you don't think he's heterosexual? Baby, I don't. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Because I was listening to Mr. West. I'm like, is this Rodney? I'm like, is this Rodney? He said, no, it's Mr. West, J. Wilson. It's Mr. West. Oh, I said, okay, because I thought it was Rodney. Huh? I thought it was Rodney at the beginning. I thought it was Rodney at the beginning. I'm like, is this Rodney? No, Jay Wilson is Mr. West. Oh, okay. Anyway, because I really did think it was Rodney. Right. It is what it is, right? Okay. But anyway, you all. So this is going to be what folks are going to talk about. Now, people are attacking Uppity. Uppity said that she talked to Yusef, and Yusef said this. Jay Dunn, as well as a person who had court cases, things are not always what they see. Okay, so that's that slant. But then you have people like Lady Nika said, I've been through this. And I don't care what you say, I think he did it. And for the mere fact that he's even in this situation. So she got that slant. And then you got people like me who really just say, let the court decide. Because everybody has a focus. Let the court decide. That's where I am. Just because you've been through it, that doesn't mean that person is guilty. However, the court is going to decide it. And I think that's all I've been saying for the whole time that I've been on. I have never said that I was pro Yusef. But my thing is, let justice do its perfect work. Not perfect, but its work. So if things are found to be like, wow, that's deep, they did do that, it will definitely come out. Church girl said, sound like entrapment to me. That's the whole thing. And what I'm gathering from what has been said, not fact, only just listening, it sounds like that person presented themselves as an 18-year-old older, and there was conversation, and when things got a little intense, maybe something popped up in that person to say, hey, I'm really this age. Maybe the person got nervous. I do not know. But, if Yusef cut it off like he said he did, and this is what he said, but if he didn't, and he continued to have interactions with that young man, then that becomes problematic. See, that's not supporting Yusef. That's just saying if he didn't, if he did, it becomes problematic. And do you not know people were like, you supporting Yusef, you supporting a predator. First of all, you calling that man a predator, and again, we don't know that. We don't know really what happened. And this is why, again, that's why I'm so happy we have a court system. However, I'm giving different viewpoints. If he continued to talk to that young man, knowing his age, that's problematic. And the court's going to look at that. I mean, they're going to look at it, period. Because it is a serious situation. And they really want to get down to the bottom of when did you know, and so on and so forth. But if you don't think that the victim is not going to be scrutinized and asked tough questions, you're wrong. That victim, the alleged victim, is going to be asked many questions. And the first one is, did you not know that this site was for the people 18? And he's going to say, well, because it's there, and they're going to have it, and they're going to show where to say, are you 18, and da-da-da-da-da. And if you click yes, that may be problematic. They're going to ask them, the victim, tough questions. And they're going to make that determination. Just being real. Baby, I don't care what you say. I'm not passing judgment on anybody. Baby, look, I ain't passing judgment. You don't like it? I'm sorry. I do not apologize for anything I'm saying. Because if you don't think that they're not going to ask that victim tough questions, you are mistaken. And you are naive. And you are being extremely biased. I ain't supporting Yusef. Yusef gonna get tough questions as well. And that's what happens when people are trying to get down to the bottom of it to really determine what happens. Because I'm gonna tell you what, just as sure as y'all want Yusef in jail, the judge is gonna try to determine we don't want people to be falsely accused. We better make sure that if this is the case, this is the case. And we got to prove that this is, because if we have any reasonable doubt, and see, that's not emotion, that's the court. Any reasonable doubt, because they don't want to put anybody in jail, even though we done seen this happen with our folks. They don't want to put anybody in jail. And there's reasonable doubt. That's court. That ain't emotion. So if he's in jail and if the court system works like it should work, we'll find out what happened. But I don't care what y'all say about me. Can I tell y'all this? You can say what you want. Nothing that I have said has supported either one. It's all about the courts. I said, and I will repeat it. If the man continues to talk to that man, he needs to go to jail. But again, the court's going to have to determine that. You don't have to like it. You can say whatever you want to. And again, y'all up there talking about why a 41-year-old man talking to an 18-year-old because they on an adult site, and 18 is the legal age, and you may not like it, but it's not against the law. Your ethics don't trump other people. Those are your convictions. But under the law, if that person could be 103 and that person could be 18, that person is an adult in the law. See, I don't deal with this emotional shit. Y'all up there, well, why would a, well, I don't know. But again, the site said 18 years old. So that ain't none of my business of why. I'm just saying, whether the man is 49, whether the man is 57. And like I said, I'm not arguing with people, but that's your emotion. And you can be emotionally charged. That's fine. But for that application, it's 18. On that application, it's 18. And this is why I think it's so problematic that Yusef would bring this to the beef sector, knowing how the beef sector is. All of this. And let me say this. I haven't seen the police report, but all I'm going to say is the law is for the lawless. And if Yusef going to jail, Yusef is going to jail. But if the man don't go to jail, what y'all gonna do then? Continue to say that he did X, Y, Z? You know, I know that makes people upset. You're supporting him because you said, what if he doesn't go to jail? What if conditional? But I'm looking at all of this, and I'm talking about it because, again, it came to Yusef. Yusef, the worst thing you could have done was put this out. See, that's the problem, Yusef. Yeah. Then Queen Tulsa had you all broadcast because that person don't care nothing about you. Now, I don't know where he going. I'm not the judge. I'm not on the jury chief. I'm not the jury. So I don't know where he going. It is complicated. It is layers that we don't know nothing about. Even we ain't gonna know a lot of this stuff until they start the court case. But let me say this. All I want is y'all to feel the same way about Donald Trump and these Epstein files. I'm not saying that these men had sex with these women, but I want them to testify. And I think they should be brought to justice, just like Yusef. Because I think it is deplorable. I think it's deplorable if a man does it to a woman. I think it's deplorable if another man does that to another man. I think it's deplorable if a woman does it to a younger man. Even though we don't get upset as much about a younger man hitting the older woman, because we don't think much about women anyhow. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let a man do that to a woman, baby, we're going to tear down the school. But let a woman do. Now the mamas will get upset. The mama's gonna get upset. The dads probably will too. But yeah, let a woman do that. I think it's deplorable if an older woman tries to take advantage of a young woman. Let me tell y'all what happened in San Antonio. Some lesbians were jailed because the victim said that they did something to them. It took the Innocence Project to get those ladies out because what happened did not happen. Right here in San Antonio, happened to some lesbians. Look up the case. I can't think of the case name right now. But somebody became a victim, and then we found out that the victim's story was wrong, and somebody had some anger issues because the person had rejected them, and the person said, I'm going to get you back, and this is what happened. I ain't supporting nobody. I'm just saying let justice do the thing. Let the court system do what the court system does. Everybody can have an opinion, and neither your opinion. Hell, I could even have an opinion, but at the end of the day, it's what the judge and the jury at that time is going to decide. They're going to look at all of the evidence, all of the evidence. Not speculation, but all of the evidence. And they're going to make a decision. And if he's guilty, he's going to jail. But it's going to start again. Do you know right from wrong? Are you special needs? Do you comprehend? Do you not know that this asks you the question, are you 18? If you clicked yes, and you know you was 15, then you just perjured or you just lied about that, and that's problematic in itself. I don't care if you can have the police report. So again, Dead Hunter, great, you have the police report. So if Yusef is guilty, the judge is going to take that police report, the same one that you have, right? And they're going to say, okay, with all the evidence we see, we find your story not to be plausible. You are sentenced to, boom, you're found guilty of, boom. That's simple. I'm not saying that the man is innocent. I'm saying let the justice system, let the court system do its job. I know that we are in the place of opinions, and people can give their opinions. Fine, give your opinion. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the court that makes the final decision. And if Yusef is guilty, he's going to jail. I don't know why y'all upset with me, because I'm saying that if he's guilty, he's going to jail. But the court is going to make that decision, not you, not us, not the beef sector, not the beef sector. I find it really interesting when people thought that Yusef had been exonerated. Ooh, they changed their tune. People are fickle. I'm not making excuses for anybody. Baby, a lie is a lie. And the headhunter, if you think that a lawyer, a defense attorney is not going to say and ask that victim question, you just as naive as the people in the beef sector. Because they're still going to scrutinize the victim to say, did you not know that this site was this, if that's the case? So again, I'm waiting for the judge. I ain't supporting nobody. I'm looking. I'm watching to see what goes on. It was brought to YouTube, so we're talking about it. But we should learn some lessons from this. Or we should be more vigilant with our children, our nieces and nephews, to make sure that they are in safe spaces. Yeah. Maybe adults really need to start ID info. Even if they're in a club. Maybe they got a lot of 21 and up clubs. That don't mean everybody 21. So I think it's a learning lesson for all. But at the end of the day, I'm not into this emotional stuff. Let's see what happens. And I don't know how I'm supporting Yusef if I'm saying that if these things are to be found true in court, that he needs to go to jail and face his time. Where's that supporting Yusef? That's supporting the justice system. That's supporting the system and the checks and balances of the law. That's not supporting Yusef. Because if I was supporting Yusef, then I would have been like, y'all got it wrong. And no, I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. But you all are so emblazoned because this is a man and this is a child and da 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 da. And we get on this. But my thing is this: the law is the law, no matter who you are. And it could have outspoken. It could have. But it's still speculation. And if Yusuf had priors, then it's going to come up as well. And I'm sure that'll be considered and taken in consideration. But just because I don't go along and do this group think and go on and crucify the man and say I'm waiting for justice to do justice's thing, that don't mean that I don't have to go along and get along with you because you feel this way and da 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 da. I don't have to go along to get along. I have an opinion. And my opinion is let justice do its work. Now, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it because Yusef was crazy enough to bring it up. And Yusef, you wanted to prove to these people that you did. And if you didn't do it, Yusef, you don't have nothing to prove. But for the mere fact that y'all always think y'all got something to prove, like Rico didn't have to prove that he got a dog back. Hell, you got the dog. Move on. But again, we always feel that we got to prove something to people who really are not important to the situation that's at hand. If the law arrested them, the law is going to put them to jail if that's the case. But I'm going to tell you this. They're going to scrutinize every piece of evidence. And if there's any reasonable doubt, and you don't have to like that. I'm just saying. Y'all getting all upset because of the law. It's the law. And if you don't like the law, vote. Change it. Change it. But you're not going to pressure me and try to strong arm me to jump on that bandwagon. If the man did what he did, he goes to jail. He deserves every piece of time that he gets. But there may be a possibility that he don't. What you gonna do? Because there are two sides. There are a lot of endings. Baby, there are a lot of endings. And it may not be the ending that you want. It may not be the ending that you want. Just saying. Say what you want. I have not said anything detrimental. I have not said anything anti-victim. I'm just telling you the plain, simple truth. And some of y'all can't handle the truth. I don't know what a 50-year-old man, she and an 18-year-old. Well, baby, they ain't trying to talk. But obviously, if you're at the age of consent, it is what it is. You may not like it, but maybe you need the laws changed. Because let me say this too. Let me flip this around. Some children now are being tried as adults. So if you go in there and unalive XYZ, and especially for our black kids, I know we hate to hear that, but they have been tried as an adult more than our white counterparts. That young man, y'all remember they had that situation in Maryland, D.C., where people were getting unalived by that weapon. Y'all remember that? Well, the young man who was influenced by that older man, They tried him as an adult. And I truly believe that young man was a victim. I truly believe he was a victim, right? But the court system didn't see it that way. They tried him as an adult. Yeah, the DC sniper. Look, Malvo. That's correct. Let me say this, you all. The court system is going to decide. Yeah, he was a victim. I felt he was a victim. That's why I'm asking. If Yusef doesn't get convicted, what are y'all going to do? Because I thought that was a shock. Okay, this man looked up to this man. This man was da 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 da. This man influenced that man. Still tried him as an adult. And see, this is where it comes in again, you all. If Yusef's story is correct, and notice I said if, because a lot of people on this app don't listen. I ain't never said anything concrete, because again, we don't know everything. But if Yusef's story is correct, the first thing is, did you know that that app was for adults and you had to be 18? Did you click this saying that you were 18? Because their whole goal is to tear down his situation. And it may point to the parents. It may point to the company. It ain't emotional, people. It's what may be asked in that courtroom. I'm not trying to be funny, but sometimes things happen. Lying under oath is proven can be offense and contempt of court and may be seen as impeding an investigation. That's right. Let me tell you something. If Yusef is lying, baby, oh, they going to get him. Oh, they going to get him. Oh, they going to get him. And trust me, that prosecuting attorney, oh, baby, they going to think of everything. Oh, they going to go back to Yusef's time when he was elementary school. They going to go back. But you better believe the defense attorney is going to be more. And let me say this. If this is a court-appointed attorney, Yusef may get a good attorney. He may not get a good attorney. Because it's a mixed bag when it comes to those attorneys. So we just gotta see. Well, we'll see. If it's second case, then it's gonna come out. Darcy, it'll come out. It'll come out. We will see what happens. And again, I am not supporting Yusef. I'm supporting the criminal justice system to let's see if it works. I'm not saying that this is a perfect system, especially being a black man and know how it has done us. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this kind of stuff, we got to see what happens. I have strong opinions about that McNutt situation. But that McNutt situation is bad because we done seen some stuff. And boy, it was not. But again, the court is going to even decide that. Even though I have strong opinions about that and the James Fortune situation, strong opinions, the court has to decide it. Because we don't live in a vigilante society. Everybody deserves their day in court. Everybody deserves due process. Everybody deserves due process, whether we like them or not. I ain't no fan of Ted Bundy, but Ted Bundy had to have due process. I was living in Florida when that happened. Oh my God, the state was just on pins and needles. People didn't want to let their daughters out. It was crazy. And then it was Ted Bundy who was a law He was a lawyer. He was a law student. This man was not a dummy. He was not the person that, people would think that would do this, right? And as much as a monster as folk thought he was, he still deserved his due process. Nope, nope, nope. Let me tell you something. Again, black people, we have been swinging from trees because vigilantes said that you did this to this person. No due process. We just go get the people from the house and they swinging from trees and come to find out that that wasn't even the description of the people. Baby, it's called due process, and you don't have to agree with me. So the headhunter still due process. Y'all getting emotional. I'm gonna say it again. Due process. Due process. Due process. Don't like it, but it's due process. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, due process. You may not like it, but that's the law. It's due process. Everybody deserves their day in court. That's why America is America, baby. Due process. So my thing is the headhunter. If he did that on that app, then that's when the prosecution or the defense is going to say, well, did you know that this was an app for 18-year-olds? Again, y'all act like the victim is not going to get scrutinized in court. Y'all act like the victim ain't going to get scrutinized in court. But y'all go on these emotions, but I'm waiting for the court. We can sit here and say whatever we want to in the beef section. We can say X, Y, Z. We can do this. Everybody's a lawyer. Everybody's this, and the third. I'm waiting for the real lawyer and the real judge to make this decision because we can say whatever we want to. Due process for everybody. Due process. Now, Yusef, you may have hurt yourself because, baby, hey, and again, you felt like you had to prove yourself to these people. And that's going to be interesting. But at the end of the day, it's due process. Baby, due process is for all. I want Donald Trump, Epstein, all of those people on Epstein Island, I want them to testify. And they need their due process too. Prince Andrew, he needs his due process. I want to hear what he has to say. I don't give a damn who it is. I don't give a damn who it is. See, y'all trying to make it a gay thing. Again, I'm not trying to go there, but you trying to go there. Let me say this. I want Epstein and all those people to testify. Like the Diddy people, I want the Diddy people to testify too. I want anybody who went one of them Diddy parties to testify. So enough. I don't care if you're gay, straight. I just said it. Go red ball it back. Red ball it back. Because I said, I think that it's terrible if anybody tries to take advantage of somebody. But what I'm not going to do is jump on this bandwagon and go along with y'all because, I don't deal with peer pressure like that. Mm-mm. And then I stick my foot in the ground even harder because my thing is I said nothing wrong. I just said let due process be due process. And if y'all don't like me saying that let that man have his day in court, that's y'all problem. Nobody, no. So anyway, it's a lot of trolls here, but let me tell y'all some trolls. Due process. Straight, gay, I don't care who you are. Due process. Now, if you don't like the laws, go vote. Go vote. Go vote. Y'all always talking about something. I ain't voting because I can't do nothing about it. Go vote. Go vote. But all I'm going to say is I ain't worried about what y'all saying. I'm looking at the court case. Baby, I'm ready for the court case. And let me say this. That's where he going to officially get his PDF file if that's what he is. Now, you can have an opinion and say, oh, he's a PDF. But when the court, because if the court finds him to be a PDF, he going to jail. That's as simple as that, right? But I'm not jumping on the bandwagon because they ain't gone to court yet. Now, you can have your opinion, but I'm still going to say due process. Those illegal immigrants, if they step foot on United States soil, they deserve due process. Now, if you don't like it, vote. Get the laws changed. Gay don't have nothing to do with it. I think it's ridiculous. But again, this is where people come in. And they always say, Jay, you always trying to do that. But see, we got this. You can't have it both ways. But what I'm telling you is you can say what the hell you want. I'm saying due process. Due process for me. Due process for you. Due process for your enemies. Due process for your friends. Due process. Due process. Well, let me say this, Just Blaze. If he went on Grindr, due process. If he was at the mall, due process. Because y'all already convicted the man and the judge ain't do shit yet. And all I'm going to say is I don't give a damn what y'all say. I may have an opinion about it, but I'm going to wait to the court where all of the evidence is going to be scrutinized, where everybody's going to have everything. Because again, I don't give a damn because you mad at me. Baby, you can be mad, you can be pissed, you can call me whatever you want to, but all I'm going to tell you is due process. I'm not dropping the link today because I'm almost at my thing. And I don't need the link today, so I ain't dropping no link, Sparkles. I'm sorry. But all I'm going to say today is due process. Say what you want. Due process. Due process for me. Due process for you. As American citizens, due process. Due process. Now, all of those people saying he did this, he did due process. It's going to come up in discovery. That's why they got discovery. What do you do in discovery? Discover. Oh, he did this before. Oh, he did this. Guess what? It's going to come up in court. You see what I'm saying? Nobody is supporting Yusef's behavior if that's the behavior. But it's due process. And I don't give a damn how you feel about it. You support that. I'm supporting due process. I'm supporting doing things by the law. Because a lot of people didn't have due process. Our ancestors didn't have due process. A lot of us didn't have due process. And we better hold on to this due process, baby. Because see, due process ain't for the gays. Due process is for everybody. If you are a citizen of this here United States, you are entitled to due process, whether you believe people deserve it or not. And if the law is for the lawless, guess what? The law is for him. And his day in court is going to come. Oh, come on, somebody. You ain't never heard. You didn't hear me once say that. You didn't hear me once say that Yusef was innocent. You didn't hear me say that one time. You didn't hear me one time say that the victim is guilty. All I'm saying is due process. And if you can't get that, you just trying to make some men, and y'all just being cantankerous. But see, y'all don't like to hear that. But I'm gonna tell you what. Due process, whether it was on a Grindr app, whether it was at the mall, whether it was on Facebook, due process. Due process. Whether I like Yusef or not, due process. I don't know Yusef like that. Leonardo, okay. So that'll come up in discovery. And he'll be put in jail for good. He'll be put in jail for good. So what are you trying to say? Because all I'm saying is due process. See, so y'all going off of this. And that's great. I'm glad you all are doing that research. And so that'll come up in discovery, won't it? It sure will. And the judges, so let's say if the judge see all of that in this. But let me say this, even the judge has to abide by the law. And even the judge may have an opinion. But let's say this. Now, this is just a hypothetical. This is a hypothetical. Hypothetical. Let's say if Yusef did all of that, but then the judge found that the young man was on that application and decide that, okay, but we have reasonable doubt, and Yusef gets away. What y'all gonna do then? Because that could be a possibility. No, I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but it could be a possibility. Now, I know people gonna be hating, talking about Jay Wilson, you did it again. It's called due process. And what I'm trying to say is we don't know what the hell the judge gonna say. We don't know what they got. We don't know what the attorneys have. We just know that Yusef came on, somebody brought it out, and everybody been looking at the man's record. Okay. But I'm still gonna say due process. Some people in our family have been stealing and stuff, but yeah, it may be a possibility that this time that they didn't do that. So my thing is this: the judge is gonna make those determinations, not me. But that's all I'm saying to y'all is due process. And y'all get mad because I'm saying due process. I ain't protecting nobody. I'm protecting the process because we don't know. Something might happen to you where you didn't do something and people say, yes, you did. And then we find out you did because you deserve due process. You have a right to prove it. You have the right to get evidence called due process. And you may not like that, but that's reality. That's the real world. So you can sit here and cuss me out and troll. Y'all can sit here and troll. I said what I said, and I ain't going back on it. I ain't deviating from it. I don't get with this group thing and this. Uh-uh. I don't cave in to peer pressure. I don't give a damn. Yep, he could be a repeat offender, but he still have due process. They just can't keep putting you in jail every time. Look, every time you commit a crime, you got to go before a judge because you deserve due process. Have y'all taken civics classes? Did they stop doing civics classes in high school? Because you can do something 50 times. So anyway, and if y'all think that's a problem, y'all need to be voting and talking to your elected officials. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like that this person is 18 and this person is 50, then you need to go ahead and vote and change the law. You may not like what I say, but I'm gonna still say it. Due process.
in y'all comments. And look, you all, first of all, I don't have to call people out their names. I don't have to say anything nasty. Just Blaze, you can have your opinion, but the court is going to have the final say. And I'm going to say it again, due process. Let's say that Yusef did this 7 times. He still has due process, regardless. So he has to be tried 7 times. He should have went to jail and stayed in there the first time. So if somebody is missing something, maybe y'all need to start voting for y'all elected official. But he has due process, and that's it. Now, YouTube can say whatever y'all want to. You can feel how you want to. Nobody ain't stopping you from having feelings. But what I am going to say is the man has due process, and due process is for every citizen of the United States and anybody who touches our soil. Due process. Now, you may not like that. You may not want to hear that, but that's just an unpleasant truth. And you can say whatever you want to, and you can feel how you want to, but Yusef is going to get due process. The victim is going to get that as well. Now, whether it was at the mall, whether it was at uh, uh, Teams or Facebook Messenger, he still got due process. And let me say this, during that due process period, everything that Yusef has done, even coming on YouTube, may be in discovery. I said maybe, didn't say etched in stone. It may be in discovery. Everything is, and let me say this, they're going to parse and piece this out. But if you think again that the victim is not going to get that, you're wrong. Because it's my channel and I can scream and holler and do what the hell I want. I'll be 56 and I do the hell I want. See how easy that is? This is my show. Due process. Due process. Jay Wilson, you did due process. Due process. I don't care if you don't like me or not. Hell, I ain't never been on this platform for friends and to get applause and validation. Due process. I don't have a dog in the fight. Baby, I'm getting ready to put commercials up in this. I'm getting ready to put some commercials in here because you all love this kind of shit. Ooh, y'all love this free ball. Baby, y'all love this shit. And this is why I'm giving it to you because again, we could talk about politics. Y'all ain't here for that. But when we talk about shit like this, y'all here for it. And I'm here for it too. And why I'm saying this, due process, that man has his right to his day in court. You can't deny people a court trial. You can't deny them a trial. You can't deny them a trial. Well, you don't have to agree with me. But this is my show. And I do what the hell I want on my show. And I don't have no managers. And I'm not here for you to like what I say all the time. And you may not like how I handle my audience or how I handle my guests. But that's my decision. Okay, I'm on mute. Controversy generates revenue. This is why I don't care about these hoes talking about me, because it's generating revenue. I've been in this B sector long enough. And if you getting your feelings hurt or you, boo, I knew I was gonna be back in the morning talking about it because baby, it was hot and contentious yesterday. And I'm like, baby, ooh, they're gonna be here in the morning because they're gonna want to know what I gotta say. And then the other girls gonna be talking about it, and ooh, it's gonna be deep. I'm here for the coin. But yet there's still a lesson to be learned as I'm getting my coin. And you may not like how I do it, but this is how I do it. I'm on mute. Let me see what else y'all gotta say. Once again, let me say this. Hold on for a minute, y'all. Once again, baby, emotions fail. People like yelling and screaming. They like that. Y'all like that. Y'all here for all of that. Y'all love that shit. Also, y'all ain't here about no politics. Y'all don't care about no Epstein. Ooh, but y'all into that T.S. Madison stuff, ain't you? Hold on for a minute. Well, first of all, let me say this. Nobody ain't victim blaming. Like I said, I wasn't victim blaming anyone. I'm just realistic. And I don't care who you are, if you think that the attorneys are not going to ask those victims tough questions, they don't care if he's 15 or what. Their whole job is to get to the bottom of the situation. And that's why I'm saying everybody will have their day in court. And I mean that. Everybody have their day in court. So a lot will be said. And I'm really looking for, I'm more interested in the court case than our opinions, because we can have opinions, but I'm really looking more to this court case. And I think I'm going to send somebody to go, because I want to really kind of get I'm really interested in the court case. To be honest, what y'all saying here, I get, but I'm really interested to see what they pull in, the discovery, how they get the evidence, the cross-examination. I'm really interested in that, because they're going to try to do everything possible to make sure that they're not convicting a person on emotions. And so that's what I'm looking forward to. See, again, I'm not mad at y'all for having y'all opinion. You can have your opinion. I mean, hey, everybody can have one. But I'm really interested in the discovery and what's going to happen and how they're going to find things. And that's what I'm interested in. Um, and like I said, everybody can say what they want. It is what it is. It is what it is. If he's guilty, he go to jail. If he's not, he don't go to jail. I don't know. That ain't supporting people, or that's just, it is what it is. You're either guilty or you're not guilty. And we will find out what's going on. And again, you all know what y'all like. Y'all sit here, y'all love this kind of stuff. We start talking about voting and voting rights and stuff. Y'all crickets. Y'all going somewhere else. Y'all like mess. Y'all like junk. And so it is what it is. Now y'all just mad because I'm not going along with the mess. Y'all just mad because I'm not agreeing with you. I ain't agreeing with nobody. You don't hear me agreeing with Uppity and what's her name? J Dunn. I'm just saying due process. And y'all don't like that word, but that's our court system called it's due process. So yeah. So I'm sorry y'all feel that way. I don't apologize for anything that I've said here, because I have said anything wrong. Um, but we really need to know that we have a court system. All righty, I see this. Y'all, I'm reading these emails. God, wait. Well, you can pursue whatever you want to. Did you hear me call the victim out their name? Did you hear me say the victim did this and this and this and this? I didn't call the victim out his name. I didn't. Now, what I did say is that it's a problem when you're saying that you're 18 and you're not. That ain't victim blaming. That's just the truth. That's for any person. That's the truth. So, I mean, if you feel bad about that, and it is what it is, that's the truth. I'm waiting for the court system, baby. Let me say this. I am gonna have somebody to go there. I got people in Georgia. I'm gonna have, and I have people in Macon, Georgia at that. And I'm gonna have somebody go to that court, because I'm very interested in what would be brought out. I'm more interested in this case because I want to hear. And all of the innuendos and rumors are cut. It's what it is. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, he should, but that don't mean I'm supporting him. So again, you don't have to like me. I didn't victim shame, baby. I want to see what happens. I really do. And yeah, nobody ain't victim shaming. Not one person. I hear. Well, I didn't call the victim out their name or say anything about the victim. Mm-mm, not one thing. But I am saying due process, and y'all don't like that. And then I'm also saying that we can't be putting stuff in and taking stuff out, and and your feelings. You can feel any way you want to, and everybody has a right to their feelings. But your feelings don't trump the law. Your feelings don't trump the law. Just don't trump the law. Well, we don't know. But again, the law says that that man is going to be cross-examined. So will we be doing something to the victim if the lawyer is doing their job to cross-examine the 15-year-old? And like I said, Free B earlier, Malvo was tried as an adult, even though he was 15. That's the flip side of it. And I do believe that that man influenced him, the DC sniper, but yet he went to jail and he was tried as an adult. He was tried as an adult. So, yeah, because that's what the law said. And I do believe he was a victim, but he was tried as an adult. So let's see what the law says. I mean, you can have your opinion, and you're rightfully, even I can have an opinion, but it doesn't trump the law. I'm just saying. Does it trump the law? Freebie? Does it trump the law? I'm asking you. Now, if I was saying, "Ooh, he's a victim," and put Yusef in jail and all that, then I ain't no better than some people, because my thing is everybody has a right to due process. Everybody has a right to due process. Oh Lord. Well, let me say that too. Let me say something about that Tommy Castro thing. They're going to find themselves in a world of trouble because the law is the law. And just because you in love, that don't mean the law ain't the law. I'm just saying. Even with that Tommy Castro thing. People like Jay, but again, because people bring it on, we don't talk about it. I don't know why people think they got to prove stuff to folk and do things, and if you bring it on, we're gonna talk about it. Again, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm just looking at it and people getting all emotional, and then people like, oh, you seem like you was emotional, but y'all like that. Y'all like when people get emotional. Y'all like when people do all that stuff. Ooh, y'all like that. Ooh, y'all like it. Ooh, it's juicy. Y'all like that stuff. Mm-mm-mm. The beef sector dead. The beef sector dead. Well, it ain't dead today. It ain't dead today. Y'all here for it. So again, I don't feel no ways tired. Because if y'all didn't want to hear it, y'all wouldn't be here. And that's why I said I'm coming back this morning out of all of that mess that happened last night. Oh, you think I'd be crazy if I didn't come back today and capitalize on it? Oh, yes, I am. Oh, yes, I am. I'm business. Okay, baby, we subcontractors. Okay, I don't know y'all personally. I don't know Yusef personally. I don't know any of these folk personally. I really don't. I'm here to do my entertainment piece. I'm here to get it riled up, and y'all got a little riled up. I'm here for it. That's why he had the camera cover up. Okay. Okay. Well, Yolanda and Stomp Down is sending stuff to the prosecutor. They're sending stuff to the DA. You know they sending stuff to the DA. You know they sending stuff to the DA, baby. Yeah, look, it's just only a matter of time. Okay. Baby, sparkles, they all around the mess, baby. And we're gonna be right here. But baby, whatever happens, I hope I'm gonna have somebody at that courthouse. Oh, I'm gonna have somebody at that courthouse. So anyway, say what you want. I know a lot of content creators got a lot to say. Y'all can say what you gotta say. I don't hate nobody, but I'm still gonna say due process. I don't care what you say. You can say I can support this and shame the victim. I've never said anything disparaging about the victim or the accused. All I've said is due process, and that the court is going to make that decision because, again, we can sit here and talk all we want to. We can sit here and talk till we blue. The judge is going to make that decision, and that's who's going to really count. Now, I think it was crazy that Yusef got on here trying to prove himself that he didn't do this and this and this. Baby, it's crazy. It's almost like that Morris Brown president, Dr. James. See, Dr. James came on and he said they fired me and da 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 da. Okay. So yeah, he was right. But what he said to that lady is, you think you can handle this D in an interview? And it went against the law, but that was some dicey stuff. Because if it'll come out in the wash. It'll come out in the wash. I don't know what my mods are. I don't require my mods to be here. I don't require my mods to be here. I don't run no code. They don't have to be here. You here. You here. That's all that matters, boo, is you here. Now, I know folk have issues with me and y'all gonna stay having issues with me. I don't care. Due process. Justice will do its job. And I'm looking forward to the court and see what happens. So anyway, it's all good over here. Ain't no hate, trolls. Long as you don't get personal with it, we good. I just block you when you do that. But at the end of the day, baby, due process. Due process. People have their right to an attorney, and if you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. They do that in the Miranda laws. How Medea say they didn't read me no Miranda. I didn't see Miranda. Miranda was nowhere around. I ain't see her. And it's called Miranda, and they got to read you. You have the right to remain. Anything you say will and could be used against you in a court of law. Y'all get that? If you don't have an attorney, you will be appointed one. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna see what happens. So anyway, y'all, I am getting ready to go into a Teams meeting. Thank you for coming. Keep coming. All the haters, all the people who like me or don't like me, keep coming. Keep coming. Trolls, keep coming. Yeah, y'all, so you just cutting people off, baby. Hey, that's what y'all like that. Ooh, y'all like that. Ooh, Jay Wilson was upset. Ooh, Jay Wilson was in his spirit. Ooh, Jay Wilson was doing this, and ooh, he was cutting folk off. And you know what? When I cut West off and Goosey, it pisses them off because they really want a platform. They really want a platform. They really want to spout off what they want to spout off. But when you cut them off, they get pissed. They really get pissed about that. They really get pissed about that. And so it is what it is. And so say what you want. I'm Jay Burrell, can't you tell? Okay. So again, it is what it is. I'm waiting for the courts, baby. I'm waiting for the courts. I don't care what y'all say. I'm waiting for the court. I don't care if you get mad, I'm waiting for the court. But baby, I do what I do. and y'all loved it, baby. So anyway, he might need to get Willie Gary down there in the Stewart. He might need to get little Weary Gary. Why is having a difference of opinion is because it's my show. It's my show. And I do what I want to do because it's my show. It's my show. I run this how I want to run it. I run this how I want to run it. That's why. I mean, you still having your opinion, but I know what Goosey and West is about. Because you got to understand too, this is about showmanship, baby. It's about clicks and views and ratings. Why you think that Tulsa had that man on? See, it is what it is. So I'm good. We're gonna see what the court say. Y'all have a good one. I'm getting ready to head out. Y'all be blessed. Peace and love. And bye.